We back. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you've been wondering if Jen was dead or not. Based off the last episode, I have great news. Jen's alive and well. She's
I've been
here with me today.
resurrected.
Yeah, I know. Contrary to what Dan would have you believe last episode, you're alive and well.
Here I am.
Amazing. Just like I said. Anywho, welcome to the podcast. We're so happy to see you and hear from you. We've heard so many great things from the community this past week. We've seen your comments and your emails, and we're going to go over the emails and stuff today. Just lots of great things, and super excited for you to join us. If you're a new person here, hi, my name's Travis. This is Jen. And of course, we are here to tell you about all the YouTubery things, and we basically take your emails and we answer them. If you're listening to the audio podcast, you actually can submit your question either through the show notes link, which is, it says text message us, and then you can send us a text message, or you can email us at theboost@vidiq.com. All right, Jen, we got a lot of great questions. I'm excited.
Here we go. I'm ready.
Oh, by the way, before we get into this, Jen and I have only ever hung out a couple times. Once at Vid Summit last year, and then once this week, earlier this week, which is kind of cool, right? Let's talk a little bit about that. So Jen came into town because our CEO came into Seattle, and our director of customer services here, and I'm here. So we all went to this place called The Garage, and Jen came up and had a great old time. We were bowling, and we played 2 games. I won the first, and guess who won the second?
That's what I was waiting for. I was like, Travis, when are you going to drop the bomb that I smoked you in bowling?
Okay, wait, hold on with the smoking. I mean, like 10 pins or something like that. But yeah, you won. You won. Yes, you did.
I won. The funniest thing is that in my team meeting, they were like, how'd last night go? And I was like, it was great. I won bowling. And they were like, wow, like you must be like all super impressed. Like I must be a really good bowler. And then I was like, it's not saying much. I did win with less than 100 points, and immediately everyone's face just dropped, and they were like,
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, you shouldn't be bragging about that.
I got over 100 in the first game. That's all I'm saying. But I think the funniest thing about the entire thing, and I didn't even mention it to Jen while she was there, is it had been a minute since I had seen her in person. I forgot how short she was. But when you compare her to everyone else that was there, this is no lie, she only came up to our shoulders, and I'm not even kidding. Every other person there looked like these big trees around this little squirrel. It was hilarious.
Everyone was so tall. I didn't know Alina was tall.
Alina's super tall. Yeah.
Everyone
ridiculous.
was literally just so tall. I'm only 5 feet tall. How tall are you, Travis?
Just over 6 foot. 6'1".
So everyone there is pretty much 6 feet tall.
Yeah, or
just
over,
say on average. So
yeah.
Maybe Alina's a little shorter. Maybe Rob's taller. And I'm just a foot shorter than everyone else standing next to it. Just a tiny little child bowler.
Totally.
When we all put our shoes on the table after, I was just like,
oh my God. Oh. Bruh, your shoes could have fit in mine. Okay, let's get to the first question here. This one is, hey, I'm Riley from Canada. I recently started my channel. And the first 2 episodes got a combined 132,000 views,
Dang.
Which is absolutely incredible and unexpected. Listen, congratulations. You're part of the 0.5% that ever happens to. Congratulations. I went from 9 subscribers to over 4,000 in about 2 months off of those videos alone. However, as my channel is new, I barely have any content. I put a bunch of effort into editing my videos, and they often take me months to fully release. Okay. My question is a 2-parter. First, as on my new channel, would it be better to keep the high quality editing that I currently have, but sacrifice the video output, or would it be better to sacrifice some quality in order to get out more videos? Assuming I can keep my current form, what are some good ways to interact with my new subscribers while they wait for the next video? I've been loving the podcast, and you've seen my question. Thank you for taking time to read it. Okay.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's a great one. What are your thoughts as you hear this?
So my thoughts, because of this situation, I'm probably going to suggest a little bit different advice than I normally would, in which case I would say think about dropping the quality a little bit, as long as it's still meeting your standards, to get more content out. You want to double down on that traction. I would hate to see you get that traction right out of the gate, which nobody experiences. And then your channel falls stagnant because you don't have the data in your channel already as a new channel, and you've gotten like a jump start times 1,000, well, times 100,000 that creators don't typically get. So I would drop it down as long as it's still meeting standards that you want on your channel. I think that's, what I would say.
Yeah, and it's interesting because Jen and I have started this boost channel from the get go. We've recognized and noticed some things, but I think what you are doing, it sounds like you have highly edited and quality content, which is why it got so many views, why it did so well right out of the gate. And I think that's what people's expectation is going to be. Now, depending on like where you are and what you were thinking about your YouTube channel, if you're in like a hurry to grow, which some people are for the right reasons, then yeah, you're gonna have to lower the quality, try to get some more out, maybe do some shorts, stuff like that. But if you're not really in a hurry and it's just something you're doing, you just want to be overly successful, there are like animation channels that take many weeks to get stuff done. But again, the one thing you have to consider is that means that if it takes you, I don't know how long it takes you specifically, but let's say it takes you 4 weeks to put out one video. That means you have 12 times in the course of a year to create content that people are going to find interesting and hopefully get you new audiences. If one or two of those fails, that's like 10% of your opportunity for the entire year. So every time you put it out, it almost has to be a banger. Otherwise, you've lost a bunch of time to grow. So if you're not in a hurry, continue down the course you're doing. If you feel like in order for you to be able to justify the time you're putting into it, that you need to see something coming from it, which might be monetization and such, then yeah, just don't be stuck in analysis paralysis, making everything perfect. Every single clip, has to be 100%. Every frame has to be. Maybe let some of that go a little bit. Love that. Okay, next one. This is the first email at the boost at vidIQ.com from the Unmasked. All right. Hey there. Hope you're doing great. Here's my question. Me and my sister absolutely love business documentaries and have a real passion for creating them. We initially wanted to start a channel featuring faceless human characters to deep dive into these intriguing stories. But then I stumbled upon this random stupid video about cat stories, which had millions of views. And in the background, there was a song going, meow, 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 meow. Okay, that's when it hit me. What if I mix my love for business documentaries with something silly as a cat character that pops up during serious moments and says meow? We already created a channel called Serious Cat 3 weeks ago, thinking it can add a touch of humor and make the content more memorable. Plus, from a merch perspective, having a fun and memorable character could be a huge hit. Do you think this quirky idea could work, or should I go for a more traditional approach with such a serious tone for the channel? Here's a link. Okay, that's an interesting mix. YouTube is great because, as I've said a billion times, there's always a viewer for everything. There might not be a lot of viewers for everything, but there's always at least a couple of viewers for everything, no matter how crazy you take it. A cat. Business documentaries. What do you think?
I'm here for it.
You're here for it?
I'm always here for the weird ideas, though. I think that's the fun of being on the platform. If you are just trying to follow everybody else, what everybody's doing, you're not like a true creator. I think that you got to give it a shot. What worst case, it fails and then you just try something else, or maybe it's just awesome. But I think that's better though. Okay, think about it. Like, it was going to be a faceless AI character no matter what.
Right.
Why not make it a cat?
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. I'm going to send you the link to the channel, and I think you'll get what I'm about to say and kind of go, yeah, I'm down with this. The faceless person who's talking should be the cat, really, and that every so often this cat comes up on screen and talk. Obviously, it's not a real cat, at least unless you have one, in which case you're gonna have viral videos. But you have this cat kind of like every once in a while when the face is supposed to come on and talk about something, it's the cat. Like I'm kind of down with that. I think that's kind of dope.
Can we talk about the hidden cat in the thumbnails?
Yeah, they put it in the thumbnails. Yeah, it's brilliant. I love it.
This is amazing.
So I think something like this could be interesting. Now, of course, ultimately it comes down to the content. Is the content good? Is it hooking people? Are you looking at your retention graphs? Are they doing well? That sort of thing. I think the cat could be a cool little secondary thing. Their thumbnail style is ridiculous. I'm looking at the thumbnails; it's outstanding. So I think if your storytelling is nearly as good as the thumbnails, then this channel is definitely going somewhere. But it is interesting to think about something so far out of left field to make yourself different. And it's so important to be the only place on YouTube they can find content like yours. Because if you're just telling people how to do one thing, then and everyone can do that, then you're just trying to go against other people who can do that, maybe do it more entertaining than you can. But if you have something that, like a cat or a garage basement where you can film your videos, then
Garage
and no one else,
basement.
not everyone has a garage basement. I mean, some people do, as we found out through our comments.
That's true.
It's possible that that you might be able to break through. So I'm interested to see how this channel goes. I think it's a unique proposition, and I'm here for it. So I say go for it, and let's see what happens.
I was trying to find the cat's name. I was like, there's no way this cat doesn't have like the punniest business cat name.
That's
But I
actually not a
couldn't
bad
find
idea.
it.
Do they haven't? Maybe they just don't have a name for it. That's another good idea. What
I
would be
was
a
like, it
funny?
has to be a hilarious because it's really business
Yeah.
oriented. So like I was trying to
So
see if there was some type of funny name behind the cat.
so Warren Buffett's really known for financial stuff. You could call him like Meowin or uh, Warren Meowfit, or I don't know, something along the lines. Like figure someone who's really good, really well known in financial circles, and catify it.
Let's let the cat people make
Yeah,
the
you'll
joke,
get him.
Travis.
Yeah, I'm a dog guy, so I don't know anything. All right. This one's from Ty. Hey, Jen and Travis. First of all, you guys rock. I
Oh
love
my
that.
gosh. Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do. Thanks for being amazing amazing humans, bringing humor, positivity, and warmth into your listeners' lives.
Okay, that
Heart
is
melt
adorable.
emoji.
Oh my gosh.
Heart melt emoji. I too have never written to any podcast or show before. You're starting a trend.
What are we doing here to people?
I don't know. You are also part of my 5 a.m. walk each morning, so thank you for keeping me entertained while I work on my health goals.
Oh my gosh, pick up the pace. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's get it. Let's get it. You should have seen, if you're watching on YouTube, you just seen Jen clutch her pearls because she really just had a moment there.
Wait,
She literally,
clutch your pearls.
yeah, she's like, oh. All right, let's get back to Jen losing it. Oh, before we finish this, we'll get back to this, Ty. This reminds me. So as of the recording of this podcast, we literally just released today the unedited version of a video we put on the main vidIQ channel. And interestingly, there's no edits in it whatsoever, and there is no thumbnail for it. The thumbnail was chosen by YouTube when you upload the video, and it's the #1 out of our last 10, which is insane to think about. Now, yeah, we have been kind of promoting it over the last couple of weeks, but I hadn't really considered that it would be a 1 of 10. I'm still kind of blown away by that. What do you think that means?
I wasn't expecting a 1 of 10 either. Although I always push for like the unthumbnails. I just feel like it's just such a hot trend now that like less editing, more realistic is just people are connecting with it better. But this isn't even like an unthumbnail. This is literally a screenshot from our recording studio.
I didn't even pick the best
next
one.
Level. That's
That was
like
YouTube.
actually next level.
So Jen and I've been thinking a little bit and talking a little bit about today, and I figure why don't we just ask you guys and gals, and you can leave it a comment in one of the YouTube videos or send us an email. Do you guys like this? Like, so the thing I think is real. I think the best viewing experience is to watch the unedited first and then the edited, because you'll leave the unedited going, how in the world is this a video? Right? Like, how is this going to be a video? And then when you see the edit, you're like, holy crap, that was a great video. So I'm really curious to see what y'all think. It's only been a couple of hours since it's been released. So let us know. Do you want us to do more of that? Because Jen and I are considering every so often having an unedited video version of these things. And, we want to give you guys more access to us in the less polished way, because we think that's what you guys are here for.
Wait, can we also just talk about the fact that this relates to like the cat question just now? Like there has to be a creativity element and experimental element to every channel. I've never seen this done before. I don't think you have. It was just a random idea that kind of came to life because we genuinely are a disaster, but like a funny disaster while we're editing. We're like, we should just like release this one day. It was like one of those like passing jokes. It was like, we should just release this. It came from this one time we were trying to come up with examples for the video, and it just backfired and we just couldn't even get the video together after that. We're like,
Pretty much.
it would be so funny. We should just release it. So we went for it, and we were essentially rewarded for it. Whether we continue it or not is definitely going to be up to you guys. But it's important to take creative chances. You can't just always do what everyone else is doing.
You're going to die right now because I just realized something.
What? You know what? I saw you looking quite mischievous there. Like,
you're not using your mic on using your AirPods mic.
Oh, Lord. Let me clutch my pearls.
Let me clutch your pearls. Everyone's going to be on the podcast going, wait a minute. What's happening? That doesn't the way it should. I mean, you don't sound terrible. You're going to sound better here in a second.
I can't switch it.
Oh, you can't switch it because we're in the middle. So how do we do this? We can stop this, and then I can, what do we definitely need to get you on here? Okay, so Ty, we're going to come back to your question. I think I'm going to have to edit the audio, and we'll come right back. I wish we had a commercial. We have commercials. All right, so in case you didn't know, we had a little audio issue there. Jen's mic wasn't, and that's more my fault than hers. I didn't catch it. So now it should sound amazing.
Is solely responsible for my responsibilities in this podcast.
My fault.
This is like not even funny though, because we make fun of my technical abilities, I feel like several times now on this podcast. So everybody honestly could have seen this coming.
It's probably going to happen again at some point in the future as well. All right, let's get to this email. Ty says, hi, I'm going to reread this as if we didn't read it the first time. For those of you watching, I have no idea what I've edited and whether or not you see or heard this before. I'm going to do it again. First of all, you guys rock. Thanks for being amazing human beings and bringing humor, positivity. No, I won't, because we talked about getting together. Okay, so I'm going to go to the next one. I'm a brand new creator, and I've been uploading videos for
Wait, we never got to Ty's question, though.
No, I know. This is it.
Okay.
I'm a brand new creator, and I've been uploading videos for just over a month now. I'm curious how creators often view or think about other creators competing within the same niche. Do creators view their competition as adversarial, or would you say most creators tend to act cordial or even supportive of their competitors, i.e. Think Media and vidIQ's relationship? I've been following a lot of other smaller creators in my niche, and I've been commenting on their videos to support them and add to the engagement of community. But I'm curious if there's some etiquette around engaging with your competition's community. I don't want to come off as if I'm trying to poach their subscribers, even though I've picked up a few subs by commenting their videos. Curious if you had any etiquette you can recommend. P.S. I'm in the YouTube growth niche, so I guess that makes us frenemies.
Frenemies, I love it.
This is a great question because doing all the things I've done on YouTube, I've been across a lot of different communities, and they all treat this differently. My specific community, tech, has always been like 99% of it is just very friendly. Everyone wants to help everyone. No one feels like they need to guard anything from anybody else. All friendly. I have been a viewer / slight participant in other communities where that is not the case, and where everyone feels like they have to scramble for all the views, and they're afraid that you're going to take their views from them and stuff, which is kind of silly. So, if you're asking for like broad etiquette, I think just be a good person is probably number one. And find someone who's in your niche that has obviously been around for a while, and just kind of ask them, what is it like here? Does everyone like I know this sounds like a funny thing, but you almost have to do this now, because again, I've seen communities that are all inclusive and they all lift everyone up. And then I've been in ones where they just fight each other. So I don't know, in the community you're in, I think we're all pretty supportive. I'm friends with everybody. Nick Nimmin, Sean Cannell I've talked to Sean many times, and everyone from Think Media. Roberto Blake's a buddy of mine. So all those people. So I don't think in this niche you have a problem. What do you think about this whole thing and the different niches you've either been in or coached for or that sort of thing? What have you seen?
I have never had the experience where it was purely competition. I even try to avoid using that word when actually talking to creators about this. I tell them to do exactly what you're doing. Dive in the comments, start to make friends. These are essentially your coworkers. And this can be a huge aid if you get to the point in your relationship where you're talking through video ideas. You can get thumbnail feedback. You can send these types of things over to each other. I've never had anything aside from that level of community on the space as a creator. So for me, it's hard to imagine a place on the platform where that competition really exists. But the way to think about it is like the audience is not watching one YouTube channel. They don't log on to YouTube and they're like, well, I watched my channel, close the app out right away. Like, no, they want to watch the same thing from different people. This is why the audience overlaps. Essentially, you're targeting that audience. So you should be studying other channels and doing things that are working and attracting that audience. And when you see that happen, like you've seen before, and you have that conversion, that crossover, it just means that you're doing your job at attracting the people you want to watch your content. So I would continue to make friends and really just dive into the community like that. And if anyone doesn't want to be a part of it, well, tell them to go mind their business then.
One of the biggest examples I've seen of this is Jeff, who works here at vidIQ. You may have seen him on the live streams and such. I've known him since 2018, and that was because he would be in live streams that I would be in watching other tech creators and such. And he was just the most supportive guy, period, to every single person, like to everybody. He lives, and he doesn't do it for any kind of strategic reason. That's just who he is. Super supportive, loves to see people win. And I think that's also what makes him a fantastic one-on-one coach. I think people really connect with him. He's a successful YouTube coach. He does a lot of great things because he's a people person. He just wants to see people win. So I think it's hard to go wrong by being positive. Not every person's going to be positive back, and some people might try to take advantage of you, but just have your head on a swivel, but don't let that be anything less than being positive. All right. Next one, the subject says how to install a toilet. That's the actual subject of this email.
Love this.
This one's from Larry. Larry here again. I was one of the first emails you ever read on the podcast. That's cool. I want to voice a quick disagreement with a comment. You don't have to subscribe to a channel with a video on how to install a toilet. Thus, there's the subject, right?
The controversy.
Right. The what is it? Toiletgate? I think the data would show otherwise, as there are huge home improvement channels with massive views and very interesting comments engagement. In between the Evergreen videos, we may also put up interesting videos such as best tools in 2024, what a homeowner needs to know, and why you need this electric gadget. Thank you, Larry. So, Larry, let's start off with one thing. I think maybe you misunderstood what I was saying, and certainly I probably wasn't clear about it. Actually, one of my good friends has a very large, over 1 million subscriber channel that's in the home improvement niche. As a matter of fact, to help her when she was transitioning between a lot of things going on in her life to get back onto YouTube. So I'm actually pretty familiar with the space. I think what I was more saying was that as a utility channel, your view to subscriber ratio will be different than other niches. That is to say, as an entertainment channel, typically you will get more subscribers per view than you will as a utility channel, because most people, let me answer this question, aren't necessarily going to subscribe. To say that no one subscribes is obviously a fallacy. And I would never say that. And I wasn't implying that no one should subscribe. Again, one of my very good friends has literally, a home improvement channel. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I mean. I hope that somewhat clears it up. It's just different. It's not, but then again, so is everything on YouTube. All right. J-Rock. How do oh my gosh. So one of the lucky things we had last time Dan was on here was that we got a lot of gaming emails, which is great because, Dan does all the gaming stuff. And now we got some gaming emails right here. So good luck on this. Let's see what.
Well, I'm happy I died last week.
I can help, but still. Absolutely love your vodcast. Let's go.
Yes.
Let's not forget, it's the vodcast.
This is the
I watch it religiously.
baby.
It's the vodcast. All right. I watch it religiously. But one thing nobody in the YouTube coaching space has ever really covered is how to create evergreen content on the most popular games like Call of Duty. My channel, and it gives a link to J-Rock Gaming, is all about Call of Duty, and I've struggled to make videos that give views after 1 month, let alone evergreen content like other niches can. In Call of Duty, there's a new season of the game every few months. So in my mind, I think sports. In which enough changes about the game, the attention shifts entirely to a new season, new guns, new maps. Full-time creators in this niche are creating content daily, and they're definitely getting lots of views, but I can't compete with them on a daily or weekly basis because I can't produce content that fast. And if I could break through with some evergreen content, I might stand a chance. So this is very, very, very similar to what I experienced in tech, because there are some evergreen things you can do in tech, but when I was covering phones, that's pretty much you got to keep moving. You got to keep pushing forward. Your views come in the first 72 hours and maybe a little bit after, but to be quite frank, most of your views are over in 3 days. Like, imagine putting out a video and 99% of your views come in 72 hours. It's like putting logs on the fire time and time and time again. So for me, I became used to it. Call of Duty just, I believe, has a new release coming out that's really big. So views are going to be very big on YouTube for this now. And because of what you're saying here, which is much like sports or technology, where things change so fast that the information that's new always trumps the stuff that's older, you need to consider the only few things that don't ever change, which is very few things, right? Because even if you come up with a great strategy, a patch could come out which negates that strategy. So what are the other things that you can do within your niche and within the game that never change from the time it's released to the time the next game comes out? Again, there might not be that many, but that's what Evergreen is. Anything that you cover that's about the new hot thing will not be Evergreen based on what you're covering it about, because it's the new hot thing. And then the next new hot thing is the new hot thing. And then the old new hot thing is the old hot thing, or cold thing at that point. So you've got to continue to focus on the things that won't go anywhere. But quite frankly, I don't necessarily know you think you have to. With the new game coming out, and this happened, Jen and I were talking to a creator that covers like movies and stuff like that, comic books and stuff. And we were like, there's a new Deadpool Wolverine movie. Little did we know it would be one of the biggest movies of all time at this point. I think it's the biggest R-rated movie of all time at this point. You need to get like in early. So currently, this game, I believe, probably by the time this podcast goes live, this vodcast goes live, it'll be out and people can start playing it. I think it's really important to have things beforehand. If you're a smaller channel, you got to get as many things out beforehand as you can, which typically is speculation. So you go around, try to find all the news and speculate on what it can be. From there, like, I don't know. Evergreen doesn't work for every niche, Jen. What do you think?
I don't know. I feel like there's ideas that can work. Like, we think of, a game that, how many seasons old is it now? How many even years old is it now?
Call of Duty's been around for decades at this point.
Greatest seasons of all time, best kills of all time. I'm sure there's professional competitions. Yeah, who's the best? What are their best shots? Compilation footage like that. Things I wish they never got rid of. What did they get rid of that you miss in the game? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Am I like a gamer now?
What just happened? That was a really good. You came with some fire on that one. I like that.
Especially with the hype of a new season. Let's talk about not even what's missing from the new season, but just that concept in general. Or I don't know if this is even possible if you can get access to like early on editions. I'm assuming they were disc editions then. Playing season X, now.
In 2024, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. And sure, go play like old versions again. People love nostalgia. Like,
that's true.
I might be tapped on ideas now. But...
No, that's great. I mean, listen, the whole thing about things I wish they never removed is absolutely a video series that could work. And I'm shocked that I didn't. This is why Jen's on here with me, because sometimes half my brain shuts off, and thank goodness Jen has at least half my brain, if not the whole and plus some.
I love ideas. That's like my favorite part about being a coach. Like, I'll just sometimes tune in to my creators and be like, listen, I thought of like 6 really weird ideas, and you can totally say no, but maybe they'll spark a better idea. But what do you think of this?
I love that.
Sometimes it's so out there. They'll be like, that was not it, but I could do this because of that. And I'm like, then my job is done.
Done.
Like, done.
Speaking of which, we had some people in the comments and emails like, so do you guys coach and whatnot? Jen is one of the one-on-one coaches. If you are interested, there's a link in the show notes. So you can look into that sort of thing, as well as the if you're watching on YouTube, the description will have a link for one-on-one. Okay, here's another email. Question. Oh, this one has pictures. So this one has like stats pictures. Okay, analytic pictures. Okay.
Oh, I thought they just sent like pics.
like cats and stuff. Yeah. No. All right, here we go. This is from Michael. After having an incredible first 2 months on YouTube, gaining 207 subscribers in that time, as of July 19th, my views and subscribers took a serious dive. I feel like I've heard this email. We might even have done an email just like this in last episode. From gaining 4 to 17 subscribers per day to at least 1,200 views per day to about 11,000 views. Wait. And up to 11,000 views on shorts and long form. Now I'm only getting up to 4 and losing about 2 subscribers per day and barely able to get 200 views per day when I don't post a short. I feel like I'm being shadow banned. Oh, we've heard this before.
There we go.
What could have happened to reduce my views so drastically? And suddenly I posted a video on July 17th and then a short form on July 20th, but the 19th is when I saw the sudden drop. I'm attaching a YouTube stats for four most popular. You know, the last time someone asked me this, I think they did in like a comment on the YouTube, and we try not to get too specific because we want this channel and these podcasts to be able to be applicable to everybody, and then not just put a line of like, okay, now my question, can you get specific? So I can't go into specifics, but I will say this. Every time someone says this to me and I look at their channel, the stuff that they just recently posted has nothing to do or is not closely related to the stuff that worked on their channel. 9 times out of 10, that's what it has been. I'm not saying that's the case here, but I'm saying in general, that's what I've seen, or something has changed, or the interest in that particular subject has waned or changed because of the because of anything. Could be seasonally, which happens a lot, by the way. So on a conference call with a very large creator, a several million subscriber channel, and they were wondering like, okay, we're kind of seeing a downturn of views. You know, what's the expectation? Well, everyone's seeing that right now. It's the end of summer, and this is normal. The end of summer always has a bit of a dip until September when everyone goes back to school, and then everyone gets back into their normal. Everyone's just trying to get their vacations in before it's over. They're just trying to get it in. Jen, they're trying to touch grass before it's over.
Everyone's trying to live their life, okay?
I can't do it, though. I don't leave the house. So I will say that in general, you know, there's times of years where you'll see that happen. Now, again, I would really, and I can't really tell here, like, the difference between the videos before and after, but that's not the point. You need to be able to look at your content and take a look and think, because one thing I hear this about is shorts lately, and I think I've actually kind of figured something out about the shorts, because they'll say, you know, I used to get hundreds or thousands of views on shorts, and I would look at them, not necessarily tied to anything, and then the newer stuff a lot of times isn't tied to the older stuff. And I think what actually happened is, you got to remember, views on shorts aren't really views, they're impressions, because there's no such thing as an impression on a short. So the testing is the view, whereas on a video, the testing is the impression. So if you know, you go, I got 1,000 views on that, but the thing got like a 2-second retention, that is the testing. That is the equivalent of like impressions and click-through rate. So there's no click-through rate on shorts because views are impressions. So if it went out there and shotgunned it and found that it just wasn't a lot of people watched it, your next time you put something out, it's not necessarily going to put it out to those same people who watch your other one, so you might not get as many views. So same thing here. It could be that either A, you did a good enough job that everyone who, you know, was watching your content regularly is kind of over it and they're like, okay, I want to watch something else. Or it could be that other content hit some type of group of people that are just like they're just not interested for whatever reason.
I think this is also a moment for some tough love. This is YouTube. Welcome to being a YouTuber. Expect this very frequently because it's going to happen time and time again. It sucks. It doesn't get easier. The numbers will collectively get higher, but you are always going to have these times where YouTube just says, no, thank you. And you will lose subscribers and you'll be facing like 10 of 10s every upload. And then you bounce back because it is not ever, ever, ever going to be a linear growth experience on the platform. It's always going to be ups and downs. And this is where people kind of bow out and they don't want to do it. And they don't wait for that next opportunity to have that growth spurt again. But this is normal. This is very, very normal for all creators in every niche.
Yeah, it's listen, everything changes depending on what you're after. Also, there's that. But we don't know enough about your channel to get to say this is why that's happening. I think at the end of the day, you look at all the information that you've learned in growing on YouTube, and just sometimes the hardest thing is to look at ourselves and go, I'm actually doing this wrong. It's, you know, it's just like that. Okay, let's see. Got one from Corey. Hello, vidIQ crew, whoever's in the podcast this week. Okay, look, please understand that Jen's always here and she's not dead.
Yeah, we got to knock that off real quick. We don't need this going to Dan's head or anything. Listen, we know he used to do the podcast, okay?
Yeah, right? I know. He might come back every once in a while, but he's not killing anybody here. So, Corey, while you were doing that, I was reading through some of the email. So he sent us an email last episode with Dan that was talking about he has a car channel that mostly is watched on television and some other things. And so the problem with this, I think what Corey is saying here, so he's diving into it more. I think the one thing is we have to set expectations on this show. So we're answering emails as much as we can with as much detail as we can. Unfortunately, we can't go into super detail in every single channel. We just can't do it. We just don't have time to do it. It sounds like he'd be perfect for someone who needs a one-on-one coach, because, for example, he dives into like why TV might be different. Yeah, we know all these things, so I get all this. He goes, furthermore, there have been suggestions about the community tab to engage and develop a community around your channel. The community posts don't show up on YouTube TV. Not even if you go to the channel page. That means depending on what platform it's watched from. So he's very smart about YouTube, which is great. I understand your business of giving general YouTube advice, but it becomes hard to dive into this type of detail and spend time giving advice at this level of specificity. But there's also those creators out there who might need this type of guidance on as how to proceed in this journey we've all embarked on, which means you need a one-on-one coach. So this podcast is to, if you're obsessed about YouTube and you love YouTube and you love hearing about it, and there's little nuggets you can take, that's great. It seems to me, because of all the details, and we get a lot of these emails with like pictures of the analytics and everything, and that's great. It's fantastic. That's my jam, but it can't be my jam here. If you need further detail, we got people who will literally obsess over your content specifically and will help you every day of the Monday through Friday, and tell you all this, break all this stuff down for you in the one-on-one. So again, there's a link in the description and a link in the show notes. Definitely check that out, because I understand what he's saying. He just had more questions because most of his audience comes from television, which is great. It's funny because ironically, I had this conversation with one of the largest car channels on YouTube just a couple of days ago. And we talked about how their audience is very high on television and that the niche in general has that. And there's all these type of things. That's great. But that was like an hour conversation on one thing. And we can't do that here. But Corey, we appreciate you. It sounds to me like you're super smart and that a coach would be perfect for you. So that's what I think might help you. Okay. Also, I heard you were, okay, so this is from a new creator from Trash Prop. And they go, why does this video get 700 views? Which I don't think we can answer. But and it says, also, I heard you were statistically insignificant. And they link to a shirt that says statistically insignificant that you can buy. And I'm kind of tempted to buy it.
Oh my gosh, wait, we talked about making shirts that say statistically insignificant. I think this should be our banner.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to dive into this because like there's a bunch of little sayings that we have. Now we have the garage, what is it, the basement garage. We have the pterodactyls killing, I don't even remember what that was. It was so in-depth.
Pterodactyl children.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. And then, so we got all these things. I think statistically insignificant is something we need to go after. Trash Pop, I wish we could go into more details, like why certain videos only get a certain amount of views. It looks like this is a short. YouTube, we have a video about YouTube Shorts actually on the main channel, and it'll be on the Boost channel in a couple of weeks. I think it's called like why your shorts don't get more views. So if you go over to the vidIQ channel, you can kind of figure out more about what we say about YouTube Shorts. Actually, it's a Jen and I video, so we kind of give all of our thoughts there. Okay, here we go. This one's from Tom. And the subject matter or subject says, should I change my channel to make from what I set it out to in the first place? Hi, Rob, Travis, Jen, and Dan. The laughing
okay,
face.
that's the way to do it, though. That's good.
You cover all your bases.
Yeah, they did well.
Because earlier this morning there was a chance that Rob was going to come back on again because he asked what time we were recording. And this morning,
Rob's in bed.
Rob loves it though. Okay. I started a gaming channel a little while ago, but I haven't been consistent with the uploads. I work 6 days a week and have 4 kids, so my time is very tight to make videos. First of all, thank you for your service. Goodness gracious. My channel idea came from me playing Minecraft on the Nintendo Switch and my frustrations of watching people build things and attempt to make them myself, only to find they don't work on the version I play on, Bedrock. Oh yeah, I do know this about that. So my channel is dedicated to playing it on the Switch. This being said, the game doesn't run well on there, and it's difficult, especially at the moment with the bugs to even play. Should I keep going on with the Nintendo niche, or drop that and just label it as Bedrock so I can use other devices that'll help my weekly upload target when I want to start getting the kids back from the summer holiday? Okay, this is interesting. this is so the question here is more about the platform in which he's playing the game and whether he should give up on Nintendo Switch, which by the way there's a huge audience for that, because it's making his content not work so well. And not exactly the same, but similar would be, I don't want to use my phone to film my thing. Should I get a $3,000 camera? It almost feels similar. Like the content technically is the same. He's saying there's some bugs that come into play when he uses it on the Switch, but there are people who just play on the Switch. I feel like, number one, you should just be doing the content no matter what the platform's on and just kind of ignoring that. Like whatever the content's good. If it is stopping you from making good content, I think you should do whatever it takes to get around that, right, Jen? Or am I losing my mind?
I think their whole why for this channel was made super clear, and to me it sounds like the changes don't necessarily align with why they started the channel to begin with. And you always have to go back to that why every single time. Why are you on the platform? What are you providing for your audience?
Yeah, I think again, what's the point of this? Are you doing it for fun? Is it making it not fun for you? And one of the things we stressed, I think, in the last 2 weeks is if you're doing content that you aren't like in love doing, then it just becomes either a low paying or no paying job, which is not what you want. You don't want that. You want to do something, you want to have something that you wake up and you're excited to do. Like Jen and I in this podcast, we love doing this podcast. We're excited about it every week. Can't wait to do it. So think about it like that. Okay, last question. This one just came in from April. Hi, Jen, Travis, and potential guest on the podcast.
Okay, people are getting creative. I love this.
I love it. First, I want to say absolutely loving Jen and Travis's dynamic. Just caught up with all the videos on the channel. Can't wait for more. That's so incredibly sweet. April.
Stop it. Don't stop it.
Okay, here we go. I make videos about tips and tricks for buying K-pop concert tickets and getting good seats, merch, and more. Now, I'm sad that Jeff isn't on this podcast because he loves K-pop.
Jeff's a K-pop fan?
Jeff's a huge K-pop fan.
Wait, I'm going to message him directly after that. I had no idea.
You should. Okay, here's what she says. My channel was lucky enough to get picked by Dan and reviewed earlier this year. At that time, the advice given was to make my channel niche more broad. I was solely focused on one K-pop group at the time. I had my concerns about it from experience from the previous channel I had, but finally made the pivot recently. If Dan is on, I want to say thanks, appreciate you. My question is not actually about the content, but myself as a creator. Okay, I'm already loving this. I love this part. Okay, here we go. I have a faceless channel, but I do film in first person with an AR feature on Android. So my face is shown as a cartoon, and pairing it with B-roll, which gives the best of both worlds, having a faceless channel and showing your face. I currently don't have any plans to reveal my name or identity, and I don't know if I ever will. My channel name is April Lee, and some call me April, which is not my real name. And I was wondering if I run into any issue in the future as I do things like sponsorships or anything else, could this cause potential challenge issue? Thanks a lot, April Lee. Okay. So no, it won't, because look at all the people that are ridiculously huge and have ridiculous names. I mean, Penguin Zero is Moist Critical. That's a terrible name. Moist Critical. I don't even like. It's a weird name, but I don't think he has any problems with anything. PewDiePie. What kind of a name is that? Like, there's there's just silly names.
PewDiePie. What kind of name is that?
What kind of a name? What does that mean? That doesn't mean anything. So I feel like that's kind of not something you need to worry about. Especially if it's, so here's the thing, and you can talk about this a little bit, protecting your identity on the internet, which we should probably just do an episode on at some point. As a female, it's different for you than it is for the average male. So what kind of things do you do to try to protect yourself from the internet at large?
I never share my location. I don't have my last name accessible or linked to my channel, and I just avoid any specific information that is going to make it really easy to stalk me. That's pretty much it. Even like my house, I don't show the outside of my house at all. Obviously there's times where you're going to see inside, but like I always try to keep a control on how much information I'm allowing the world to see, and I just never post in real time.
Yeah, I think it's super important to acknowledge that if someone really wants to find out who you are, they will find out, but to not make it too easy. But I found as I became a larger content creator, something really interesting happened. And over time it became kind of annoying. So, every once in a while I'll take a picture of something and put it on Twitter or whatever, sometimes Instagram, but mostly Twitter. And I think the first time that I ran into like this having to really pay attention to what's in the photo was some of my friends razzing me. So I took a picture of like, I can't even remember what it was, but I think I was out getting ice cream or something. And I was taking a picture like inside of the ice cream store or something. And my reflection was showing, and there was something, I don't even know what was going on, but my friends made fun of me because they could see the reflection. I'm like, okay, that's kind of like, who's looking that deep? I'll tell you the time when I was like, okay, I really need to start paying attention. Took a picture of my dog, Nathan, who's no longer with me. I tell you, I miss that little boy every day. But he had this little, necklace, his chain with his little necklace thing. I swear to God, I took a picture from him. It must have been like 8 feet away.
Wait, don't tell me the same thing happened to me. Wait, keep going with your story.
Probably will be. Immediately, after I posted it on Twitter, they were like, they can see your address on his thing. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I zoomed in. If you zoomed in, because I had the, this is missing. If you're missing, contact me. It has the address and phone number.
Yeah.
You can kind of see my phone number and address. I'm like, geez, like you can't take anything for granted. So when I was doing videos out and about, I have to make sure that it didn't show like the cross streets of places, if I could avoid it. Like, so it's just these things you have to really pay attention to. You wouldn't even think about otherwise.
Oh my gosh. Wait, okay. So a different thing happened to me, but similar situation where one of my dog's collar doesn't have my address on it, but just my phone number. And I got like a random text that was like, hey, what's up? And I was like, who's this? And they're like, oh, I got your number from your dog's collar in your YouTube video. And I was like, what?
Bruh. What?
At what point did this sound like a good idea, man? Like,
Bro.
what?
What a weird thing, right?
Yeah. So, people are out there, but hopefully, I don't know, do your best.
Yeah. So it gets weird as you get more successful. It's not all, cherry pie and ice cream.
I will say, though,
yeah.
because of people like on the internet reaching out, my best friends I've met in that way.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Your friends are stalkers?
Yes.
What?
Actually, my best friend to this day, we went to an event, a meetup, and her and her husband, they watched the channel. They knew that I was going to be there. And he was like, we'll go say hi. Like, I know that we'll be good friends. Like, we are so similar. And like, it sounds so creepy. It sounds so direct. So they had like approached me just like a normal, like, watch the channel, love the content, feels like we're so similar, very normal, very casual. And she like died. She was like, I can't believe that he went up to you. I can't believe he said that. I was mortified. And we just ended up like actually really like, he was right. I mean, we would make really great friends. And to this day, we are now best friends.
Interesting.
Yes.
I wonder, so what that points out now is the next time, likely the next time you and I will be in the same place will likely be next year's Vid Summit. Likely. Or I should say possibly. I shouldn't even say like, I should say possibly. Which would mean that might be the first instance where we would meet collectively, because I've already met one person who's listened to the podcast, that the parasocial relationship of listener and podcaster. Now we're kind of like, cool, we would love to meet and talk to the people that are a part of the podcast audience, because you guys and gals are so dope, you're so amazing, that we would love to meet all of you. But it is interesting once you get to a certain situation. I think most times you meet someone who watches your channel, it's usually a really positive scenario. Usually really is. But every once in a while it gets weird and you don't really know how to handle that, because like, there's nothing about like what it's like to meet someone who's a stranger who knows more about you than you them. You don't even know they exist, but they know everything about you. Very interesting thing. We'll have to talk about that another time, because I got a lot of thoughts.
Yeah.
I got a lot of thoughts on that.
That's a good one, actually. That's a really good one.
So let's talk real quick about videos we've watched this past week, and then I have one other thing I want to talk about. But let's do that. So I'm just going to say the real easy thing.
What have I watched this week?
I watched the unedited upload we put it again. That's been my favorite thing this week, because I forgot about half the things that happened during that. As a matter of fact, one of the comments on it, someone said that they thought that we were like kind of acting or something, or kind of playing it up for the camera. I'm like, bro, that is literally every single video that we make. That is so, matter of fact, that's probably a more put together one. That we've had ones that were, when I say worse, I mean like laughing from 5 minutes in to like 30 minutes. Like we just ruined the entire thing. So yeah, that's
what inspired it though. So that's like the funny thing. It's like, because they're such a mess, that's what inspired it. I think the one thing that was different about that one, which obviously we didn't know was going to happen, is we ended up planning that additional intro.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, is not an everyday kind of thing, but that is realistically like what happens when we're recording. Just like good idea.
We just throw
type
whatever
of
out
moment.
There. Love it.
What
about you?
That's a good one. What have I
know I cheaped out by
you really
thing,
did.
But it was good. Listen, I watched it. What do you want me to do? I did like it. I watched it.
Let's see. What have I watched? I did watch Regretless's video this week, which was a really big moment for her channel.
Really?
Very big moment. For the first time ever, she announced a relationship status on her channel.
Oh,
so it's the first time she's ever said she was in a relationship and who that person is. And that was a really big one. It was such a beautiful, it was a cinematic, just short little video. And it was just so sweet. But I've also actually been watching shorts.
You actually have a whole experiment we're going to go over at one point.
Well, that's why I've been watching shorts.
Yeah. And people know that you don't tend to like shorts. So what have you been watching that you like this time?
Oh my
around?
gosh. Wait, that's the funny thing, is because I feel like I must mention it so much more, because I'll even have my creators be like, all right, I know you don't like shorts, but, and I'm like, I don't like hate shorts.
People think you hate shorts.
I just think they don't belong on YouTube. Like,
I mean, they should exist, just not here.
I've honestly been scrolling. I've literally just been scrolling like my feed and just seeing what pops up, studying, honestly, the algorithm, because I'm not a shorts watcher, and just taking in the information. So maybe not like joy watching, but watching.
That's fair. That's fair. And lastly, I want to kind of talk about some of the things we want to do in the future in the coming weeks, months. We have an idea that, and I think it really was verified with this unedited video that some of y'all really liked it. What I thought was interesting is some of the initial comments that came in mentioned, oh my God, 2 uploads in a week, which is weird because we upload more than that in the week, but I think people considered it a podcast, even though it wasn't a podcast. And I think people like the behind the scenes looks of things. So we, in a couple of weeks, we will, when we're recording this podcast, we're going to do it, a live streaming of it to our Discord, the Discord that we have. That's not the public one, but the one that you can get access to if you have at least Boost. So a link in the description of this video or in the audio show notes will get you, linked in where you can download the plugin if you haven't already done it. And if you're at Boost level or one-on-one, you'll be able to watch us record this live. We don't have the date or the time, but when we do, we'll set it up in that Discord. And by the way, that Discord's amazing. There's tons of people in there that'll help you literally go through your analytics, your thumbnails, everything, all day, day. That's what they love to do. So take a look at that. I think there's also a link in the show notes and in the description that if you already have Boost or one-on-one, you click it, you can link your Discord to vidIQ, and then it'll give you automatic access. If you don't know what Discord is, it's basically like a little chat room type thing. And we have a group of tons of great creators in this one area that's specifically for people who are really serious about it, like people like you. If you're listening this deep into the podcast, you're serious about this. So I'd love to see you in there. I'm in there every once in a while too, so I'd love to see you guys and gals in there. But that'll do it for us this week. Thank you so much for all the messages, the kind words, the support, the subscribes. If you're watching on YouTube, I mean, that's been amazing. Everything y'all are doing. We have so many cool plans for y'all coming in. So, Jen, with that, say goodbye.
Goodbye.